Hi, everyone. I'm Charlotte Siems, Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. And tonight, Brenda may be joining us later. She found out at the last minute that she had a call for speakers at convention. And so she may be able to jump on here later. But if not, I'll just keep talking and I'll do the topic. The topic tonight is don't make these mistakes. And it's really don't make these two mistakes. And I don't want to leave you just with the negativity of don't make mistakes. We really want to talk about what are the things you can do to avoid them, or if you're making these mistakes, what are the things you can do to change that. And there's really only two reasons why people fail in this business. One of them is that they're not working hard enough. That is one where people think they're doing income producing activities, but they're really just doing busy work. It's not an income producing activity to set up a Plexus notebook or to scroll around on Facebook, or it's not an income producing activity to clean your office or to write in your planner. Those, as necessary as those things are sometimes, we can fool ourselves into thinking, oh man, we're working so hard on our Plexus business, we're spending all this time, but the things that we're doing are not income producing activities. And so that's one thing we want to be careful about. And, there's also the tendency, someone may, look at someone else who's ranking up quickly and, really, doing well in their business. And then it's easy for them to think, well, I wish I was doing that. But then they're not spending the same amount of time as the other person who is ranking up and their business is growing. And so it is fine if you just want to spend 15 minutes a day on your business or 30 minutes or whatever. That is your choice and that's fine, but you cannot expect to have the same business as someone who spends 2 hours a day on it or 4 hours a day on it. That's just not realistic. But it's easy to fool ourselves and start thinking, that we should be getting the same results as someone else when we're not really doing the work. Another issue can be taking breaks. Like you go on vacation or you get sick or whatever. Well, then, so you're off for like 5 days. Well, then that 5 days turns into 2 weeks and you keep telling yourself you're too busy and you'll get back to it. And so that's another aspect of not working hard enough on this business. And so that can be a reason for failure. So that's number one, is not working hard enough. Number two is that you're doing the wrong things. You're not doing it right. If you're working hard, but you're still not seeing results, then you're not doing the right things. And you might have the best intentions, but if it's not working for you, there's some things to change, and it's time for you to analyze and find out what the faults are and fix it. Do you realize that every move you make in your business is either working for you or against you? There's no neutral ground. Your business will either move forward or backward based on the actions that you take. Not taking action is actually a choice. You're choosing to do that. And so your business will go forward or backward based on the actions you take. Now, all of us have strengths that we do well on, and we also all have limitations, and it makes sense to work from your strengths, but it's also good to be aware of weaknesses because we want to either strengthen those in this business or, eliminate them. And the first thing we need to do is to pinpoint where the problem is. If we feel like, we're doing the work and it's not working, what is the problem? If you're not getting out and meeting enough people or you're not connecting with enough people, then start there. That's the skill that you need to work on. If you have prospects and you're talking to people, but nobody's signing up and nobody's ordering, then there may need to do some work on your approach. Maybe the things you're saying, the language that you're using, the words that you're using. When we use certain words, it can trigger people in an unintentional way. We may have thought we were doing it the right way, but it makes someone back up because of the way we said something. And so that's something to work on if that's not working for you. If you have people who join your team and then nobody's doing anything, then that's something to take a look at. And, it's normal to have a lot of people who just join for the wholesale price and they want to just get their products. And that's awesome because we need lots of those people. That gives you a very stable base to your business. But if that's all you have, then it's time to take a look at who you're recruiting, how you're training them, the support that you're giving them. It could be that just the message you're giving out to people is what you're getting. That's why you're not getting business builders. Maybe you're telling everybody when they join, hey, you don't even have to get a welcome pack. Just pay the $34.95. Or maybe you're saying things like, just get your products. I know that's all you want to do. Instead, I heard Kristen Abart say that even when we introduce people in a group, we should not use the words, she just joined for the wholesale price, because we want to plant seeds in them. And so if all we're doing is strengthening that, and the person's thinking, okay, that's all I'm ever going to do. But what if we use language like when we introduce people in the groups and they've just joined for the wholesale price? What if we introduce them as, I'm excited for all the things that are ahead for her. We didn't tell them she's going to do the business, because that could make people mad if they've told you, I'm not going to do this business, and you introduced them and said, she's going to rock and roll in this business. And they might go, whoa, I wasn't going to do that. But what's wrong with saying, I can't wait to see what's ahead for her, or good things are just around the corner, because that can be talking about the business or the products. And remember, folks, I joined for the wholesale price, and I was very clear to my sponsor, Brenda, that I wasn't going to sell this stuff. So just because somebody tells you that doesn't mean that's where they're going to end up. So don't cut them off at the pass and limit them at the beginning by introducing them and saying they just joined for the wholesale price. Okay, so you're analyzing, you're trying to figure out where the weak links are, the things in your business that you feel like you don't have the skills or you don't know. You never want to blame others for your lack of progress. Don't blame your upline or other people. It's your business. You're a business owner. Focus on yourself and what needs to change in you. And I will tell you that if you start looking around and blaming people and getting into unforgiveness, that will stop your business cold. We need to always have an open heart of forgiveness and gratefulness, and just gratefulness will open things up. The big difference between people who succeed in their business and those who end up either quitting or just staying the same is the willingness to take responsibility for where they are. Sometimes maybe your techniques, like I said, your wording or things that you do just need some fine tuning, but there may be other changes that you need to make. Maybe your personality is naturally quiet, or maybe you speak in a monotone. I don't know. You got to think about how that's coming across to people. And so maybe you need to show a little more excitement. On the other hand, if you're the kind of person that talks a mile a minute and you're so excited, and I can get that way because I'm so passionate about Plexus. But if you are throwing up Plexus on people, that's what that does, is like you're in their face, you're in their space, and they're going to be going, because we're just, doing lots of information to people. And so if you will realize that you need to, pull back some, and just give them a little bit of information and let them ask questions back. We want to give them just enough information to where they lean in and they're saying, oh, really? That we want them to want more instead of feeling like, whoa, that's too much. And so that may be a skill that you need to work on. And so that would help you so that you're doing the right things and not the wrong things. So really, it could be that you don't know much about the products. Well, then it's time to invest some time in yourself and learn about the products. If you have, the new Success Kit, if you got one and joined recently, then go through the product cards and read all the amazing information in that Success Kit. If you don't have a Success Kit yet and you're going to convention, then put it on your list to buy one, because it'll be one per ambassador at convention. So definitely get one if you don't have one. Be prepared to ask yourself some tough questions. So many times we're looking for stuff outside of ourselves and the magic thing we can do to make our business move forward, when we really need to be looking inside in our own heart and in our own mind. Ask yourself tough questions like, does my enthusiasm come across as being pushy or desperate? Am I really a good listener, or am I just waiting for a pause in the conversation so I can start talking again? You won't get far because people can sense that in you. If you can't figure out what the problem is, then swallow your pride and ask for feedback. And that could be from some sidelines or from your upline, especially your sponsor. Ask them if they see something, and then act on the advice you receive, but be teachable. Don't immediately always have a reason why. No, that's not the problem, because then you're not being teachable. And so we want to ask and then accept the feedback. And, you really don't want to stop yourself from succeeding in this business, because Plexus is in such a special season of time right now where our products are so needed. They address core health issues, and our company is in momentum, amazing business. And so it's definitely worth working on yourself and your skills to succeed in the business. And so there are 3 questions to ask yourself. This is the 3 practical things I want to give you before we get off of this call. And that is this. Number 1, ask yourself, what areas are working for me? So in other words, what am I doing well? What's working in my business? Because there are things. And so you find those things and write those down. If you can't think of a single thing, then you need to work on being grateful, because we get more of what we think about. So if we're constantly thinking about all the things that are wrong with our business and being negative about how things are, we're going to get more of that. So first of all, you're writing down your blessings. What things are working for me? And those are probably going to be areas of your strength, your personality. And so that's something to celebrate and to do more of. Number 2, what areas are not working? What things are you not so good at? Is it follow-up? Is it meeting new people? Is it consistent income-producing activities consistently? Contacting new people, doing the work? Is that your weak area? Then the 3rd question is, what practical steps can I take to address those areas that are not working? As a mom of 12 children, many, many years of lots of kids at home. I only have 4 left at home now, so this is like, hey, piece of cake, But when I had a lot of children home, when we've homeschooled for 29 years, I guess in some ways I naturally had to do this. So I was forced to do this, or maybe it's my personality, and that would be if something was driving me crazy, whether it was the laundry or meals or a certain child's behavior, some kind of chore system, something, I would figure out what's driving me crazy, and then what can I do to fix that? What can I do to make this area easier for me so that I will stay up with it? How can I simplify? How can I create a new system? And so that is what, in some ways, I'm asking you to do. You're diagnosing, if you're making these mistakes, the not working hard enough or not doing the right things. Diagnose those mistakes if you're making those, because they're common, and then figure out what to do to fix them. And if you can't figure it out, that's a great time to get with your upline or to do a Zoom with some sidelines, just really connect with some people and be honest, and together figure out positive solutions. Take responsibility and find positive solutions. And it's really going to help you grow. If you get to a certain, you continue to have these same weak areas and problems and you never move forward, then you're going to pretty much stay stuck. But if you're willing to do the uncomfortable work and look at yourself, figure out new ways to do things, learn new skills, continually learning, then you are going to progress, and it is so worth it. And one thing to remember is that we look around and we see everybody else going diamond in 9 months or whatever it is. And I'm not diamond, so, in 2 years. But, we got to be realistic about our progress. And if it takes you 5 years to get to diamond, it's still going to be worth it. And so it's worth it to keep going, to keep working on yourself, because you're going to be a better person at the end of it anyway. You're going to be an amazing, awesome, strong jewel because of all the things you've learned along the way. And you kind of had to do it the hard way or work harder. But that was your story, and your story is going to encourage someone else. So it's definitely worth it to figure out what mistakes you're making and improve. And then you're going to be able to train other people in the same way and encourage them. So it's actually just a really great, a great thing to do. So anyway, okay, that's what I have for you tonight for this short spark call to give you a spark of information and inspiration. We will not have a call next week because many of us will be at convention, but I know Brenda and I will both be sharing, pictures and latest news and news flashes as we find out new things at convention. So be sure and stay glued to your groups for that, because it's going to be really exciting next week. So everybody have a great evening. Good night.